What's happening?
No, man, finally. I know we've been tussling with this for the last couple of weeks. Your fault. I mean, not your fault, but we got the time change, and I went, so I'm glad we made it, though.
You know what? I'm back in Michigan now, man, so my time is different.
I was just going to ask you that, too, because I thought you was going back and forth. I saw some, you were in the Bay or something back over. I was like, okay, he moving, so
yeah.
I'm going to try to catch up with them. So how's everything been with you? You been safe and everything?
It's been wonderful, man. It's been a wonderful career, a wonderful ride, man. And you know what? I'm still doing it, baby.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes, sir.
So, we're going to go into some history things, little thing on me. I've been out here in Southern Cali for the last 30 plus years on the same company. So, I've been supporting your records since beginning. Now I made a complete circle through the 90s and then came back, and here I am supporting, the groups I started with. And it's so crazy because I was like 17 at the time when I started my career. And
okay.
So I had the opportunity to DJ for you guys before you came on stage. You came out here to Ventura. It was a place called Tantalons. And then you did Ventura Theater with Jesse Johnson and Climax.
Wow.
And,
you've been there for the ride.
Yeah, so, I was out there DJ. Y'all ready for me, ready for the world. And then I had another gig I opened up for you guys. When I opened up DJ before you came on, it was in LA by Universal Studios. It was like a showcase thing. So,
okay.
One day I'm going to get to talk to him. So here I am 30 years later.
I know. And I'm over here fiddling and faddling with everything, man. I got to get some light on the situation, but I'm good.
So just to give you a little history, man, I've just been a day one guy with everybody that I've been bringing on the ground, especially you guys. So let's talk about how the music got started with you, because we all have that one thing that got us moving into. I know you play instruments and do a lot of things, produce. So what was the fire starter, or what was the main influence that got you moving?
I've always been a music person, always loved music, but it wasn't something that I thought I would ever be doing professionally. Okay. And like yourself, I started off 17, 18 years old. Man. And my thing has always been sports, but what really got me started were the girls and talent shows. And so, I would be, coming home from football practice, and I would stop in, and me and somebody stopped in one day at a talent show rehearsal. And a buddy of ours got up and started singing "The Closer I Get to You" with my sister.
Oh, okay.
And the girls went nuts. I said, you know what? Next year I'm going to be in the talent show. I didn't know if I could sing or not. I'm just like, next year I'm in the talent show. Yeah, so that was my first step toward this music thing, was trying to impress the girls in a talent show. But wow. I know I always would come home and get on the piano, and I tell people, what God blesses you with, you can either use it or try to get away from it, but it's in you. And obviously what was in me was music, because I would come home and get on the piano, and I would start writing songs from scratch. And a matter of fact, one of the first talent shows I was in, I ended up doing an original song on the piano when, in the talent shows back then, everybody would sing behind somebody else's record.
I know them.
I was crazy enough to get up there on a piano and do my own original. Like, what? So the guys tried to clap me off the stage, and I was singing a ballad. So I stood up and I said, ended up winning second place to my sister, who won first place. But that was my introduction to music, man.
Okay, and then it just started rolling after that. So between that time and before Ready for the World got together, was there anything in that space, or you kept pursuing the music and then you got with the guys? Or how did that come about?
Well, we were in high school, and we were 16, 17, so we entered that 12th grade talent show, but we saved up some money from what's called an open house out in the Midwest. And I saved up my money, and a couple of other guys saved up their money, and we went into a real studio and recorded our original songs, which Tonight was one of them. A song called Drive 55, Deep Inside Your Love, and Slide Over.
Hey,
Yeah. And we went in the studio, man, and we had never been in a studio before. We were only 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I was in college at the time. And we just went in there and just did what we felt we could do. And I've always been that guy that would come home and write songs anyway. So I felt like, hey, my stuff is just as good as what's on the radio, being real naive. And hey, it from there was Mojo at WJLB in Detroit, and that's where we took off.
And it just blew up. It's so funny because deep inside, I always wanted to ask you, man, what the hell was you going through when you went to that song? Because I've been banging that for 2 weeks. You got me crying over nothing. I was like, oh, man, I go through my little, I knew you was coming up. I said, ooh, I'm going to get him out ready for the world move, my Melvin Riley. Yeah. So I had Who Is It? I just kept going, but I kept playing deep inside. I'm like, man, why are my eyes getting watery for? What's your name? I don't even know what I'm getting off. I mean, was a backstory on that, or you just was feeling that?
Yeah, man. I mean, really, going in little itty high school relationships, guys, you end up liking a girl.
Sure.
And either you all may break up or whatever. And so I always had a great imagination as well. So everything I sing about is not necessarily about me. But back then, I was trying to sing songs that I felt people my age could relate to. So Deep Inside Your Love, a lot of people thought it was about sex, but really was saying, I'm madly in love with you. I'm deeply in love with you.
I never thought that. I thought it was about love.
Yeah. A lot of people came back and like, oh, man, I'm like, no, this song is about deep in love with somebody.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's where that backstory comes from on that.
Okay, so when you guys got your first deal, you got founded with was that MCA you guys were on, right?
Yeah, MCA Records. Well, we first started our own record label called Blue Lake Records.
Okay, was any singles released off there?
Yeah.
Which singles did you have off that label?
Well, it was our own label, and Tonight was the first single.
Oh, it did?
And we actually went around to record stores saying, would you take this record? Because we were getting airplay in Ohio, Detroit, Midwest area. Pittsburgh was one of them. And so we started getting a little airplay, and then Tonight became this song that everybody started requesting. And so we actually printed up records via our attorney, the Lloyds, and printed up records of Tonight and started selling them, man, to the record stores and people. We actually put our own label on the record.
Wow. Yeah,
we would go there and sit there and take the plastic off and put Blue Lake Records on our record label.
Mix CDs. This is wow.
Yeah, man.
That's incredible. So you pushed that record yourself. So MCA picked that up after you guys got hot?
Yeah, actually a guy named Kelvin Ventura, which was a record rep for MCA at the time, took it to Gerald Busby.
Right. Okay.
And I'm getting this record played for these guys. It's really taking off. You maybe need to check it out. And Gerald Busby, the genius and mind that he was at MCA, he was one of those Berry Gordy type of guys. He wasn't just a suit and tie. He actually had an ear and an eye for talent. And so once he heard Tonight, thought of what it was doing, he actually took us under his wing. We became Gerald Busby's group. And from there, he knew what it was.
Right. We got that record at the station, and I'm assuming, I know you're a Prince, got to be a Prince influence. We all are. Anybody that's into good music, And there was a group they were called. You remember a group called Dream Boy?
Oh yeah. Jeff Stanton and I spoke last year.
Oh, okay. So I Promise. Okay, so that's when I started. That song. I was like, ooh. And then you guys came out, and I was like, oh, they gonna smash, because Dream Boy didn't really take off. But when you guys came out, I was like, okay, me and my PD, I was a kid. I was like, man, you don't know nothing. You too young. I'm like, no, this group is gonna be it with Tonight. I'm telling you,
right.
And it just blew up. But we got it on MCA. I wish we would have had that label you were talking about. I would have had that frame right here for you.
And I still have the original record, man.
Man, so you that whole record. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, Hall of Fame in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame asked me to send some memorabilia, and I wanted to send them the original copy of Tonight, and realized I only have one copy. And I'm like, well, I'll send you this, that, and the other, but I can't send the last copy of Tonight. Hopefully, I'll find another one somewhere, but I still have that original.
Okay, yeah, you got to hold on to that. Yeah, and Hard Rock, nobody getting that one, huh? So I saw a listener on here, Tammy. She's a great follower of you guys too. She asked, so how'd you come up with the backstory on Oh Sheila?
Oh Sheila. Oh Sheila. You know, I was like 17 years old, dinking around on the keyboard, and I just came up this melody. Dun, 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 dun. So that's how it all began on a keyboard. And from there, I had different names. I had Oh Lisa. It rang in my like, da, 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 da. Okay, well, maybe Oh Linda. Oh, and Sheila is a name out of probably 5 or 6 other names. So, Oh Sheila just rang. It made sense to me at the time. So I wrote the lyrics around that. And then I did the bass. And so I started coloring in this song that we finally went into the studio. And I still had a cassette tape of the first time we recorded Oh Sheila. And I'm going to play that one day for everybody on on Instagram. But yeah, man, that's how Oh Sheila came about. It was a different name here and there. But the melody that I came up with is the same melody.
So when you get influenced, when you go in the studio, it just seems like, well, you know, I've always been one, you can't push creativity. You know, it's got to just happen. If you got to start thinking about it, it's not going to happen. So when it seems like you just come in the studio, it's just a vibe, and I'm going to write this song. Am I right?
Well, with me, I write music first.
Right.
The music has to be something that is there, and then I can lay in that music. If the music is cold-blooded, then I can write to it. And then I'm just going to come up with a hook. And then I'm going to come up with a melody, and then I'm going to come up with some words that I want to go ahead and capture your attention with. And so that's pretty much how I write. I usually have music that's hot already. It just needs a home as far as lyrics is concerned.
Okay. And with Love You Down, was there anything particular with that one song? Because Oh Sheila just blew up.
Right.
I mean, it just, you know, became the hit of that era, you know. So with Love You Down, it was so good to see, man, because you really got a beautiful soul, man, with them slow songs.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, me and my boy, we still get chills when we're playing songs. Like, we'd be like, oh, man, you got me again, you know. So
yeah, you remember back in the day? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all your music is great, but I'm talking about that slow music. I'm a slow music guy, you know. Mom grew up on Smokey, Marvin, so you know I had to grow up on that. So with Love You Down, was there anything special about that, or it just came from the soul and you just wrote that out?
Yeah, I was actually in New Orleans, and we were on the road so much when we first started off that I actually had to bring a portable studio out on the road with me. And so we were in New Orleans, I think, 2 days before our concert. And I was just in my hotel room and dinking around as I do on the boards. And this melody from dinking around came to me. And from there, I had to write something to it. And so it really was, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, okay, you were messing around with an older woman back then.
No, I did not.
I might have been, but that's not what it was.
She got nothing to do with it.
But yeah, and so that's how that one came about. I was in New Orleans in the hotel room, man, and Love You Down is when I first started that premise. And then I brought it back home when we got off the road, and I went in the studio and I played all the instruments. I played the bass, the keyboards, every backgrounds, everything, because it was one of those songs that I wanted to get done. And then the group was supposed to come in and add theirs, but it never happened. So I ended up doing all the Love You Down by myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, like, Can He Do It Like This? That's all me in the studio. And it's not a macho thing. It's just the way, you know, if you have a group of guys and sometimes they can make it or they can't come in the studio, Well, I've been blessed to be able to play the bass guitar, lead guitar, rhythm, keyboards. So I'm gonna get it done, and that's the way a lot of songs that Ready for the World has. Is just me in the studio because I had to get it done.
Sure, that's such a great story. It just reminded me of the Gibb brothers. You remember How Deep Is Your Love?
Yeah.
You know, I just saw their documentary is awesome. You got to check that out. I just saw Barry Gibb talk about they wrote that in their hotel room while they were filming Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh, wow.
They was in there with the, you know, just putting it together, and they didn't think anything of it. And look what happened to the song. So
melody, man. I mean, you can't do nothing. If you have a great melody, great song, love melody, man, and that's the love.
That's what I'm matching you with. You know? I'm just like, man, you got that mentality. The way that you telling me about these songs is just, you know.
Yeah, man. It's like some people have that thing where they are a melodic melody person. And if you're a songwriter, you not only have to be able to write lyrics, but you have to have a melody that when people go to work, is ringing in their head. Whatever you're saying, but that melody has to be there. And I always think of melody, so it's always music with me. Then the melody, the vocal arrangement has to have a melody. Then that hook has to have a melody. And then I fit my lyrics in the melody. Because the melody is what people remember. I've listened to songs before where I didn't even know what the guy was saying, but it was so catchy, the melody. Then 2 months later, I understand what he's singing about. So I kind of write the way that I listen to music. I may not even know what the words are, but I know that the melody is ridiculous. And so when I'm writing music, hey, the melodies always have to be, even right now with my new project, oh man, I think this might be some of the hottest stuff I've ever recorded with what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna get into a lot of trouble probably with this new album. I'm gonna say that right now because I'm all out. I'm going all out on how I really want to say what I want to say, and hey, I'm still doing me.
Right. So the new stuff, is that the one on your website with Knees Up and all that on there?
No, that was a project I did back a while ago with Jamie Foxx and Prez and a few different people. The new project is the new 21-22 Melvin Riley.
Well, let's get into it. You got some things about that? Let's talk about that. Let's hype them up a little bit. Go ahead.
I'm actually hoping to release it real soon here. I want to shoot the video and consult with a few people because some of the lyrics and the hooks are pretty like and you know the thing about it, I don't want to do just another love song, an album of love songs. Of course, my love songs have always been edgy because I want to capture your attention.
Right.
And with the new Melvin Riley, I'm doing the same thing, but I may surprise you with some of the hooks because you'll be like, whoa, he went there. And so I'm doing it like that. And, you know, the entire project is straight wilding out. That means, you know, lyrically, vocally, musically. And, you know, I don't want to just you listen to the radio. Here's another love song. Here's another love song. But I want my love songs to stand out and talk about real things that happen in real relationships and how people really talk in relationships. So I'm singing like that. And my lyrics are like that on my album.
If
we can't even call it an album anymore.
Right. I know. We still old school.
Right.
Like, you know, my nephew's like, Uncle, what you talking about?
Right.
No, but I mean, you've always been on that fine line, you know. It's like even with all your slow songs, like, oh man, it's almost nasty, but it's not. It's sexy, you know. It's like, oh man, I mean, you could tell, you know, just the mind thought of it, you know, with Prince, you know. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that with you because that's the Frank thought, you know. You were on that cusp like that, you know.
I think people need to sing about what really is talked about and what really happens in relationship. I mean, of course, I love you and all, you know, you're this and how can, but at the same time, we always know how real relationships go down. And it's not always Romeo and Juliet.
No, it ain't.
And so my album is that real, like, it ain't always Romeo and Juliet. Sometimes it is, but we're going to sing about what really goes down in relationships. And then we're going to talk about what having fun and what men really think and what women really think.
That's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can wait for that one, especially now, the mature Melvin Riley.
Yeah.
You know, the mature Melvin Riley. Even though your songs were never grimy then, they were just always sexy and nice. They hit a point. But now that, you know, we older, I'm sure your process thought of how you're delivering is probably going to be a little more for our age, you know?
It is, but at the same time.
Oh, you still, all right, hold on. But maybe still go back.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, like, I need to grow up, okay? I'll put it like that. I need to grow up.
Hey, Melvin, entertainers don't grow up, though.
That's true. That's true.
You know, we don't grow up. We still live in Neverland, but that's what keeps our soul, though. That's our soul.
And you know what? My daughter and my son are both music heads. And, you know, they grew up on the 80s, 90s, even 70s music. So they have an old soul when it comes to music. And I'll probably embarrass them a little bit on this new Melvin Riley project because they'll be like, wait a minute, Dad, slow down. But you know what? Hey, I got to do what I do.
Right. And that's you. And people know how you come with it. So I don't think anybody's expecting anything, you know, watered down. It's just that you coming. You're a man now.
I'm just warning y'all.
I'm just giving you a little heads up.
Yeah.
Hey, these people probably like, man, I already conceived one with tonight. I got to get on with another one with this guy. You know what I mean? Another movie maker. Come on with it. So, Melvin, I always like to ask, you know, people when I'm interviewing them, what was their favorite? Because everybody's got something different. What was your most memorable thing going on tour? Like what show? What just like you always go back to? Like, man, because I always got club. Like, man, that club in LA was, I'll never forget that. You know, that was just that one night. You know, I played at this club called Vanguard. It had like 2,000 people, and I did a one night thing there. I'm just like, I'll never forget it. Do you have a moment like that?
A lot of moments like that.
Okay, give me one. One.
But we were in Disneyland performing, and Disney told us, because they loved us, they brought Ready for the World to Disney. Even with my lyrics, they brought us to Disney every year, pretty much.
Wow.
But they would always warn me, we want to talk to, you know, Melvin, tell him, don't say this word, don't say that word.
Okay.
So me and Bobby Brown, he would do some shows with us. So me and Bobby would both be like, all right, you can't say this. And I'd be like, yeah, I can't say this. Like, oh, what is this? Like, hey, it's Disney, bro. So I sang Slide Over. And I kind of probably got a little in my regular concert mode. And there's a young lady that jumped in the water on Slide Over. We were playing at Frontierland on the raft.
Oh, that lake out there?
Yeah, we were in the middle of the lake. The girl jumped in the water on Slide Over and swam over to the stage. So the security had to jump in the water, grab the girl as I was singing Slide Over. And after we finished the show, they took her and put her in a van, but she was all soaking wet. And I was like, at least let us meet the young lady. But they didn't let us meet her. They were like, no, we don't want any problems. I'm like, this young lady jumped in the water to swim over on Slide Over. We could at least say hello. But we never met the young lady. And if she's out there, I remember you, sweetheart.
Hey, props to you. Props to you. I saw someone said swimmer on there. I was like, oh, he must have been there or something. I was like, swimmer.
I get a lot of people that were at those Disney shows that say, hey, I was at the Disney grad night, you know, 86, 87, 85, or whatever those years were. So, yeah.
I think that's the best one I've had so far.
Hey, I got a lot of them, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
That's okay. Hey, we're going to have more than one interview, man. When that happens, we're going to have you back again. So let's talk about the Valentine's Day that's coming up.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about the show. It's going to be a, what is that, pay-per-view? Where is that coming on?
Yes, it's February 13th.
Okay.
Coming up real soon.
Right.
Right now, during this pandemic, this is something that we probably, am I lighted? Is this lit enough? Because I was going to brighten it up a little bit. I'm good?
No, you good. You good.
You know, during this pandemic, we are usually on the road right now. Actually, we're rehearsing right now, usually to go out on the road on an Alan Beck tour or some Valentine's Day tours or whatever. And this year, this pandemic has really shut all the artists down. So we're like, you know, not only can we do a great show for the audience during this pandemic, but we can also help out HBCU colleges, the Orally Cancer Foundation. My publicist, Renee, did an amazing job of making this concert more than just a concert, but a benefit concert that's going to bring in funds to help out, you know, black colleges, colleges, period, Alabama State, cancer research. And at the same time, people, you know, at home, really, where they would go out to dinner, they can sit back, chill, listen to slow songs, fast songs. That's why it's called dance and romance. Because, you know, hey, even if you're a single person, it's Valentine's. We're going to bring it in a day before, February 13th. And you can go to melvinriley.com. I'm sorry, I am melvinriley.com.
Right.
Purchase your tickets, as well as my publicist has another place they can go to and get tickets. And then after that, we have a VIP ticket to where I'm going to sit on here and talk like I'm talking to you and answer people's questions after the concert.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure they got a lot of questions about Ready for the World and going on, and you know,
sure.
So hey, it's all good though. You know, it's definitely going to be a great show. You know, and it's that love song music for Valentine's. So February 13th.
Right, you can get tickets. Actually, I'm going to be putting that up on my link and IG, so you can get to Melvin's website and check that out, or you can go to Melvin's IG and get those tickets. And that's cool that you're doing, like, to meet listeners after, because, you know, usually they'll pay that. If you go to Lauryn Hill concert, you pay an extra $2 to meet her and take a picture with her. But that's awesome that you're going to do that. Right?
Yeah. I think this is a lot of artists will probably start doing this, because who knows when everybody will get back out on the road. And it's one thing artists love doing is relating face to face, getting up on that stage and relating with their audience.
Right.
When you're a singer for years and you're used to going on the road and that interaction, you know, so if this doesn't let up anytime soon, that's what artists are going to have to do to get to the fans and to say, hey, we're still here doing what we do.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's making adjustments. You got to find that. That's the whole reason why I got artists on here.
Yeah.
I was talking to my PD. I said, hey, man, you know, we got to change the game. I got an idea. He ran through it, and he goes, well, get who you want on there. And then this was great because, you know, we play all, you know, the older stuff. Everybody, you know, the IZs. Ready for, and he was like, well, what do you want to give them? I said, well, how about if I get them, interview them, and break off their new track? He said, oh, that would be perfect. So it gets to help you guys out and promote your thing, but the help everybody's giving me, including yourself, Ready for the World, has gave me music and a career for the last 3 decades. So that's how I see it. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, it's an honor, brother.
Thank you. I mean, I feel the same. I just, you know, I was a kid in Culver City and the projects, man, and my folks, like, you know, we got to move out of there, get him in my grandfolks in a different spot. You know, I was a kid. I saw, you know, The Glove, you know, before Breaking movie. Found my whole culture and music has made me who I am today, and I've been fortunate enough to have people like you, 30 years, 35 years plus, and keep the job. Because, you know, being an old head like me and having the same career in the entertainment field, radio, that, you know, God has been good. So,
oh man, hey, that's how we as artists can expand, and the audience gets to know us because of brothers like yourself who knows what real music is and has a passion for it. Because you got that ear, it blesses us with that. So hey, that's why I say I'm honored, brother. Showing up.
it definitely goes both ways. But like this has been, you know, definitely my highlight, man. You know, being, you know, to so close to you, but you know, you guys were doing your thing, and you know, I was just like, you know, they at their prime one day, and you were like, you was on the bucket list for interviews. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him on here. That is no doubt. So, Melvin, hit them again with where they can purchase those tickets for the show.
You guys can go to IamMelvinRiley.com, and not only can you purchase tickets for the February 13th show, but I have my clothing line on there as well. I know a lot of times when we get older, we want that memorabilia with the names of the songs and all that. Hey, IamMelvinRiley.com, purchase your tickets, and you can also get your VIP ticket as well. And after the concert, we can chop it up and talk about whatever. So definitely, February 13th is the concert. Y'all go get them tickets, and we're gonna get it going.
That's right. Hey, Melvin, thank you so much. Renee, if you out there, Renee, thank you. I appreciate you, you know, for getting them on here. And we're going to talk soon, though. All right, Mel?
I'm looking forward to it, brother. I appreciate you, man.
You got it.
All right now.
Peace.